Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the World of Warcraft Let's Play Gold Making series, where I attempt to take my friend's money and make 10 million gold. So far, we're at almost 400,000 gold. Let's take a look at the mailbox. There are 3 interesting pieces of gold in this mailbox. There's 2 boosting payouts from gold boosts that I performed, and then 1 BOE flip here, the Velvet Bindings. I guess the Shadowcast Helm isn't too bad either, and then just some other random materials flips. Alright, so I want to talk about professions and Ghost Iron Ore briefly. So I've mentioned quite a few times throughout the series that Ghost Iron Ore and Engineering and Alchemy were going to be part of the plan. Start leveling things up, get lots more gold, but upon further reflection and thinking about things, I've actually decided to sort of leave the engineering and the alchemy by the wayside on this current server, just because I don't really have enough profession slots to really take advantage of everything that I think I really should be taking advantage of. Instead of doing engineering on my warrior that I'm leveling up, I think I'm going to go with blacksmithing in order to take advantage of the legendary items. So, that said, I've got all this Ghost Iron ore that was purchased for, well, it's Ghost Iron bars now, but a bunch of Ghost Iron ore purchased for 5 gold each. It looks like it's selling for just right around 15 gold now, which is actually a pretty nice little profit, since that's 5 gold per bar of profit, since it takes 2 ore to make 1 bar. So, I'm going to probably start looking to get some of these offloaded, since there's probably not going to be a huge need for them coming up. Probably same deal with the Motes and Spirits of Harmony, so 18 gold, 18 silver, so that's about 180 gold baseline for the Spirits, which is, you know, exactly what they're at right now, interestingly enough. Yeah, so I'm going to start taking some of these out, and oh, that's interesting. I didn't know if you right-click on an item, just right-clicking, it puts it in the TSM thingy. I don't know if that's a useful feature or not. Yeah, so I'm going to grab some of these and get them listed on the auction house. Got an opportunity here. I think we're going to take it. So there's currently... Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I was going to say we could buy out both of these 200 eye level plate gloves and sort of effectively reset the price on both the 200s and the 187s. Yeah, maybe a little bit less attractive because I've got these guys in here, which, you know, selling for 19k would be okay. Still really not great profit, though. If we could bump up the price of the 200s to 30,000, we could probably get the price to 187s to maybe 20, 25. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could just give it a shot, see what happens. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy them out. Yeah, you know, I was doing some reflecting on the sort of whole hedge fund philosophy over the past week, and you gotta be aggressive if you're gonna run a hedge fund, man. You gotta take some crazy risks. You gotta be a little bit ridiculous with your money, because that's sort of the whole point. You're doing some crazy strategies to make tons of gold, so we're not gonna get anywhere if we're not buying out crazy amounts of BOEs. So, just a bit of a philosophy shift, I think, going forward. Yeah, like check this out. Somebody sort of reset the price on 200s and 213s of the male boots, but the 187s are still way under there. That's like 30,000 gold difference. Yeah, let's just buy all these out and reset the price like we do. That is an enormous hedge fund worthy markup right there. Very proud of that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm really honestly not too worried about like buying a bunch of stuff too, because I think that just actually building up a large stock of BOEs is going to be advantageous for you know, actually generating some wealth and building up some wealth going forward. So even if this all doesn't work out super well, I think we're going to be okay in the long run. I'm a little more hesitant with these. This is a Legion BOE. Yeah, I don't know. Figuring out these Legion BOEs is going to be a little awkward, right? Because, you know, as you can see here, the eye level is totally different for all 3 of these. It's probably even different for mine as well. Yeah, it's actually the same. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I still just haven't really figured out if the item level on these and the level requirement actually matters, or if it's just a transmog thing. I don't know. I'm gonna keep buying out the cheap ones and just see what happens, because that's really the only way you can learn is by doing. Oh man, somebody's doing some wacky shit over here. Look at this. Market value 1 million gold for this random chess piece. That's not right. Somebody's manipulating TSM prices. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, the region's like 15k and they're like trying to get the market value up. It almost caught me too, because you see 10%, this really low blue number over here really get your heart pounding sometimes, but yeah, that's a trap. I mean, no one's really paying that much money for that transmog. I mean, obviously this is a good BOE, but yeah, not that good. Alright, it's been a hot second since we scanned through the Undermine Journal deals, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of those, see if there's anything good. Yeah, well, I'm definitely buying a 40 gold Talon of Voltros. That thing is definitely worth more than 40 gold. Arena bands. It's actually pretty neat wrist transmog. You don't see many of those. It is male, which makes it less attractive, but that's not going to stop me. Yeah, the main thing I look for when I'm doing these is like really big margins and market values that are, at least in the 5 figures. 'Cause if it's not, it's really just not worth my time. But, these are actually looking pretty decent. Okay, so trinkets are interesting. It's actually kind of difficult to get decent leveling trinkets. So this is, I mean, mana. Actually, I kind of wonder where this came from, but not really the big enough margin for me. Yeah, and a bunch of blue boots. Okay, yep, that's all good for that. I typically skip over these guys and these guys, because crafted gear is kind of a trap in my opinion. Armor bonuses are sort of a repeat. Common junk. Okay, then the uncommon recipes are definitely worth taking a look at. We'll give that a scan. It doesn't look like anything too attractive here. Not really the right prices. Again, the whole reason to be doing these searches is to find kind of long-term investments that are gonna, eventually turn a huge profit when they actually do sell. Not really a quick flip, just a almost like a store of value over time. And you get enough of these things, eventually they'll start really paying off. Yeah, I mean, this cat carrier thing looks pretty decent. Dark Moon Rabbit, yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. Yes, it's a 25k investment, but the all the TSM numbers are pretty big. The only thing that's really kind of low is the region sale average, but that's kind of a value you have to take with a grain of salt. This actually might flip pretty quickly. I'm kind of curious what TSM will want to put it up for. So let's grab these from the mailbox and see what happens. So I know this Talon of Voltros and the white cat carrier don't really fall under the 5-figure number that I was kind of hinting at, but I just know for a fact that this is a kind of an iconic thing. Like anyone that ever had a twink back in vanilla knows that this is a pretty decent weapon. It's just sort of, it has some history to it, right? This is actually recognizable as opposed to most items in this game these days. And then, I don't know, battle pets are kind of special. But yeah, so there's the Dark Moon Rabbit going up for 45k. Yeah, if it flips for that, that'd be pretty excellent. The other thing that I don't mind about getting these battle pets is it does open up the possibility of doing some cross-server battle pet arbitrage in the future if I kind of start building up the collection a little bit again. It has sort of been wiped out a little bit since I just sort of kind of gave up on it a while back. But we've got a few things in here. I don't have the add-on installed to see all the different prices and things. If that ever does become something I'm gonna look into again, obviously I will do that. But yeah, like these Rascal Bots, that's a Jard's a Ghost Iron Ore product that just doesn't sell as quickly, so that's got some value. I think this Red Ridge Tarantula is decent. Yeah, so it's definitely an option going forward if we want to expand our horizons and diversify our portfolio. Cool. Then yeah, just take a quick look at what auctions we have posted up. It's 1.3 million worth of posted auctions. That's probably a fairly accurate number. I mean, it gets inflated a little bit by some of these Bloodvine Boots things. If these actually sold for 6 figures, that'd be fantastic. I really am not holding my breath. But yeah, I'll just take a little scan through and have a look. Random BOEs and things. Yeah. All right, well, let's go do some leveling. Alright, so Warrior update. We're up to level 55, and a couple things have changed since we last saw our Warrior hero. I've decided to actually go with the Threads of Fate leveling strategy for probably a bit of an awkward reason that maybe this can save you a little bit. So, as you may remember, I took this character into the Maw at level 48 and then decided to just go with the storyline. And when I reached Bastion, towards the end of the Bastion storyline, where you finally go to Elysian Hold, there's a quest that requires you to be level 53. I was level 51 at the time, about 1,000 experience from level 52, and got that experience, figured that was going to do it. Turned out there's still a whole other level, and yeah, so at that point I was like, well, screw it. If I'm going to have to queue up for dungeons anyway, I might as well turn on the Threads of Fate and get the, all these aid quests and all that nonsense. So, we've just been spamming some dungeons. I did choose the Night Fae Covenant, just because I think this ability is pretty sweet and very satisfying to use. The whole kind of idea with me leveling up in Armor's Warrior is the very satisfying abilities. There's like this smashy thing, and basically just a lot of smashy things. Anyway, so we're spamming dungeons and kind of running around doing little odd quests here and there, trying to maybe gather a few resources, because I did go ahead and pick up blacksmithing, and we still have mining. So yeah, the blacksmithing, I'm working on leveling it up a little bit as we go, kind of trying to get materials as they're cheap, and yeah, with the hope that once I get to max level on this character, hopefully in this episode, I can jump right into leveling up all of the legendary base items. So there you go. Hey, we leveled up. I missed it, but there you go. Level 56. New rallying cry rank. Interestingly enough, some of the things you can make while leveling up your blacksmithing does actually sell. Like this claymore, the weight stones, claymore sabatons. It's not a lot, but it is profit technically, and it does actually make sense because you kind of just need these really basic items when you start leveling up a warrior or, well, any character really. I mean, look, I'm even using some of this stuff, these bracers. Previously, I was using a weapon that was crafted just because, like, you just need something to replace your eye level 500 thing. Otherwise, you're just never going to kill anything. And you actually have to, like, be item level 80 or so to actually queue up for dungeons. So there's actually a market for those green level things.
Yeah, so it's not a ton of cash coming in, but hey, we made these to level up, so, get a little money back from the blacksmithing leveling process. It's Monday night, which is a very busy night for the boosting, actually, so probably going to be doing a little bit more of that as the evening progresses, but I did want to at least just check in on the bank tune, gather some of that ghost iron profits, and take a look at a few things. Alright, well, it is a new day, and we've got a sale on the Fallen Templar's gloves. Looks like this is one of the ones that we kind of went for a mass reset, so seems to be somewhat working so far. I want to figure out a good price target for Veiled Augment runes. I talked about this a little bit in the weekly presentation, but there's a good chance that these things are going to shoot up in price when 9.1 hits, given that they're needed for rating, and there will be progression rating happening again. I think probably 583 is a little bit high. I obviously would like to see it go underneath market value, but I mean, this is probably still a reasonable price, but I don't know. I'm going to think about it a little bit. We still do have at least a couple months before that's going to be a result that actually actualizes. Well, the first auction house cycle on all those things that we bought out and reset on the BOE market is done, and we've got a boosting payout as well. So that's what that mailbox looks like this morning. Went ahead and bought up some more blacksmithing materials. We're going to add to the stockpile, so you can see sort of what I'm stockpiling here. I don't know really how much or how far this is going to get us, but I do know that we need to get these materials as cheap as possible if we're going to turn profits and actually make some money with the blacksmithing stuff. Theratos kind of sounds like Theranos. Coincidence? I know they named some of these BOEs after
figures in the community. Doesn't seem like this one is, though, so I don't know, just some random name they made up, I guess. So we actually have a big gold in the Warriors mailbox, just from blacksmithing items that I was posting up, as well as, I think this is just a random BOE that I actually sold for something. So there you go. A little bit of ore that I purchased as well, just for, you know, the cheap prices. So we'll go ahead and collect those. What do you guys think of my new Mog? I'm warrior, right? This is a warrior Mog. So I recently discovered, learned, whatever you want to call it, that the legendary crafting, or really just crafting in general, in Shadowlands kind of doesn't require, but it's very advantageous to have a very high reputation, exalted reputation with a faction in order to reduce the cost of vendor materials, because if you look at things like Luminous Flux alone, this stuff, you buy it for 5 gold each, which, you know, that's not the worst in the world, but like that's, you know, that's more than we're used to. And I believe, I don't have any of the recipes yet, but there's a thing called the Arboreal Shard for the actual legendary crafting, and that is upwards of 150 gold, I think. So having the vendor discounts at Exalted for those is going to be vital. So I'm on my way over to Ardenweald just to do some, I don't know, some world quests or something and get a little bit of extra reputation, because, yeah, we're only friendly because we, you know, didn't do the campaign because of that whole awkward going to the level 48 thing. So, yeah, world quests and reputation grind is going to be a part of this character's future. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, so interestingly enough, some side quests give reputation and some don't. I'm not really sure if there's a great way or an easy way to figure out which ones do which. So I guess we'll just kind of see what we can do and find out. And I did purchase a contract, so I get 10 extra rep for every world quest I complete. Woo! Alright, cool. So this one did give Wild Hunt experience, so that's good. We'll continue trying to find more. Yeah, alright, so I guess I'm doing one quest line, you know, a little bit of a chunk, maybe 500 or so reputation. Looks like the biggest increases in these are going to come from callings once we hit max level and start doing those in Ardenweald. So definitely going to make sure to do those above all else, because you need to get that reputation up. Alright. Almost there. Just gotta cut open a couple more hydras. And maybe click on a few more pine cones. There it is, level 60. Whee! Slash played. 1 day, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 15 seconds. So there you go. That's a rough idea of how long you can expect to spend leveling up to level 60. Yeah, so we're gonna go do a few things on this character, namely run the other side for this weekly quest, because I think that this is going to be one of the most effective ways of leveling up reputation. We need to look at getting some gear, and then, yeah, all kinds of stuff, all in preparation and going towards being able to craft legendary blacksmithing base items. So yep, that's the plan. So I like sort of scammed my way into getting these guys to run this Mythic Zero the other side with me, but turns out like doing like okay. Damn, I feel like the item level on this is actually kind of appropriate. The game says 115 eye level for Mythic Zero, which seems ridiculous to me, but I'm 143, so if that's the case, then like, you know, weird. Definitely level appropriate for it, so maybe I guess it's not as much of a scam as I thought. Alright, so I'm about ready to jump into the Maw. Not technically not for the first time, but to go take care of the Torghast stage of the campaign. Since we're all set to start doing that, I did a couple callings in Ardenweald this morning to get the rep up and get a little bit of renowned and things. So yeah, we're actually almost to, honored with the Wild Hunt, which will be great. Unlock another stage in vendor reduction on material costs, which will be good for when we start actually leveling up the legendaries. Yep, so looking pretty happy with progress on this. We'll keep you updated.
I've got a few interesting things in the mailbox. Some ghost iron bars sold. Always good to see those. And then Fallen Templar's Gauntlets. That's a BOE from current expansion. And then we actually, interestingly enough, acquired a new investor in the hedge fund. So that's what this 25,000 is. Another little buy-in. Just a small entry into the hedge fund's coffers. But the more investors we have, the better. Because the more money we got, the more stuff we can do. So we'll keep it short and sweet this week for the wrap-up. But as you can see, we are definitely in the red this week. I had a lot of expenditures. This big one, of course, was, I believe, all the BOEs that we bought, and then steadily been purchasing blacksmithing materials over the week or the last few days to get blacksmithing leveled up, because that's going to be important to get legendary bases ready to go for 9.1. I'm just trying to buy like basically under 90% market value-ish for things that I'm going to need for all of the blacksmithing stuff. Nice to get a little bit of jump back up here at the end. Yep, total gold, almost 300,000, ending the week on, I believe we've got close to 1.5 million in auctions posted, 1.4. And the assets in the bank are approximately, I think, we got 35,000-ish worth of materials for blacksmithing in the bank. And of course, as you know, we got to level 60 this week on the warrior. Got started doing, level 60 things, working on the campaign, working on the year. We'll be probably going to finish up blacksmithing and get the legendary stuff started at the beginning of next episode. So we'll have that look forward to in the next week. Yeah, so I guess I want to thank everyone for watching again this week. Again, my name is Andrew, Darkshore Capital. We're doing the WoW hedge funds, take my friend's gold and turn it into 10 million. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like, and if not, give the video a dislike. And I wish you happy gold making in the next week, and we'll see you next time.